what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go over a few coins for after this entire move is over. So we have essentially broken out of this range, right? And for the first time in a very long time, we have closed a daily candle actually higher than the previous high. Like we have finally broken structure. Well, if I go on just a random BTC chart, this actually has a lot of stuff on it. If I go on a random BTC chart, um, what you can see is that we didn't manage to close a single daily candle above the previous high, right? So if we just start here, that's why we set the high. I'm just putting them on the actual closes. You can see that we actually didn't manage to close a single candle above the previous highs. We just wicked it and then rejected every single time. And this time, finally, we like wicked it, we built below, and we closed below like twice. And now we finally managed to close above, which is really, really good. Because now we can finally confidently say, hey, we are now in an uptrend. Because before, the weekly was maybe in an uptrend, because we did break structure again here, right? So we confirmed the uptrend. But the daily has been in a downtrend for a very long time. Because all of this is actually just downtrending, right? So from this moment on, from like mid-April, we've literally just been in a downtrend. Which is crazy to think that it has now been about like 20 to 30 weeks that we've been ranging like this. And it has been, if I just take this candle close at the start of the downtrend, it has been 165 days since we've been downtrending. So it took us 165 days to actually break that downtrend. So we've finally done that. So I'm just very actively just looking for longs on the next pullback, like lots of them, because we bought a bunch of spots down here. Like when we wick down here into both like the Wyckoff scheme and the butterfly. But I want more longs because now we have finally confirmed the uptrend. So it's like rather safe to go for longs now. Shorts are not favored anymore for the first time in a while, which is really nice. Because longs, like in this position, if you look at where alts are, like if I go on to what's maybe not the best example, right? Let's for example go on, let's just go on AVAX because AVAX has been performing well. But even then, if I just go on a high time frame chart, like we are still really low. Even though AVAX has been outperforming quite a bit. Like we're still 223% away from the target, like the actual technical target, which is over a 3x on a major that has been outperforming. So longs in areas like these, like we can run them up really, really high, which is really nice to see. So that's why for the first time in a while, I'm actually very biased. Usually I try to like be unbiased on the market. I just go on the chart every day and just see what direction are we going to go. Then I either look for longs or shorts or whatever. But right now I'm pretty heavily biased towards longs from lower. I still don't think this is a good spot to start more longs. But just taking the Wyckoff scheme as a start, I think this is going to be a good area to start longs. And otherwise, we are probably just going to form we're just going to form some patterns right over there. So I'm either going to try along in this area, like in the 63k area, somewhere along those lines, or towards like 58 to 60k. So in general, that's what I wanted to do. I put a bunch of coins on a list. And essentially everything that this is I had a few coins I wanted to look at that have already broken structure. So if I go on a daily time frame, I want to look at coins that have essentially broken their last daily high, as that is a proof of demand. So, because we know BTC has finally broken structure upwards, so BTC is now in an uptrend on essentially every time frame. I want to look for altcoins that have done the same. So if I look at a coin like, I think SSV actually hasn't done that. Yeah, if I look at a coin like SSV, SSV is a good example, right? So we are still, this is not the oldest chart, we are still in a weekly uptrend maybe. But if we look at the daily, this is your last significant high. So we haven't even broken that yet. So I am looking for coins, and I'm gonna heavily prioritize coins that have broken this high and managed to close above or build above, because those have essentially proven that they do have demand, at least as much demand as BTC has. So in my eyes, those are going to be the coins that perform the best the moment we actually do get a pullback and then break out. Say is absolutely flying today. I've only just noticed that. Wow. Okay. So out of those coins, these are the first ones that came to mind. It's very unorganized at the moment. I literally just threw them all into a list. But essentially, that's what I wanted to look at. So I wanted to look at possible bids for Sui. I wanted to look at possible bids for Say. I'm going to go on a different layout for this one after. I wanted to look at extra bids for FTM, Fed, and then just go down the list. I think Paul is pretty easy. I think we're just going to bid Paul like down here on the 886. That's a rather easy one. But that's essentially what I want to look for. So two things. One, I want to look for a few coins on this list. And two, I want to see if you guys have any other coins that you think are going to perform really well, and then we can take a look at those as well. Hey, what's up, new? Or not? We're just calling it new, is that not? Oh. Yeah, alright, let's see. Sui, I have played this chart because I have it charted on a different layout. I have it charted on this one. So I want to chart Sui first because I'm getting a lot of requests for Sui, so I want to just have a good one in general. And then we can start going over other coins as well. Okay, so first of all, I think everyone has already seen this one since it gets shared around a lot, but I'm just gonna draw it out anyway. So we did have this shark here. This is what we bounced off of. Let's see, shark and a 5-0, gonna go on daily. Cetus soup is if you're doing Sui. Are they related to each other? I haven't heard of Cetus before. Yeah, they are. Okay. Yeah, I'll do Cetus as well in a bit. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna mark out this 0.5 fib, so there's essentially just a 0.5 of B to D on that shark. Because considering that we kind of just ripped through that 5-0, that is gonna be our first significant level to look at when we come back. So essentially this 0.5, I think this is gonna get a retest eventually. We also have a bat right around there. I do really like this bat, but it does have one significant problem, and that is that it is a bat with a 0.382 what's called X2B. And bats with a 0.382 X2B, I just disable the other one so it's a bit more clear. Bats with a 0.382 X2B also have the possibility of forming into an alt bat. So usually bats form the complete PRZ at X to D 0.886. But if this is a 0.382, then we can also expect an alt bat slightly higher at a 113. So I'm gonna mark out a few of these important levels. I'm just gonna use fibs for them so it's actually as accurate as possible, and then we'll see. Actually, I can just use this one. I use the 886 and a 113. These are going to be the most important levels for Sui to get to, essentially. And I think looking at our B2D on this bat, I think this is actually going to be a pretty hard level to get through for the reason that, yeah, our 3.14 is there as well. So I think this is going to be the most likely rejection zone if we get one. I'm not sure if we actually do, but if we start seeing exhaustion in this area, you might want to look for like a head short or something on spot bags, but I wouldn't just blindly short Sui, because this coin is obviously very strong. Yeah, this would make a lot of sense. So one thing I usually look for when looking at really strong coins, if I want to see if they continue pumping or not, is I like to go on the 6 hour. And I'm gonna mark, because I trade the harmonics anyway, right? So I'm gonna mark the how oversold it was at the B point. So in general, that was right over here. And what we can see is that even though price has gone so much higher already, the RSI peaked at the same top. So this is essentially still a bearish divergence, even though RSI is reset in between. And the reason I do this is because when trading harmonics, if you take your significant B point and you take RSI from that point, the moment it taps, then resets and comes back and forms that divergence, when it actually tops out inside of the PRZ and confirms that divergence right over there, that's kind of your confirmation for an extra entry. That is something not a lot of people talk about, but that concept is called RSI BAM. And it is really good for confirming if strong coins are going to stop pumping or not. So what I want to see is if Sui enters this area, and at the same time we see RSI going above and then closing below, that is very important. That's when I would look for a short. But only if all of that happens at the same time. So in that case, your short would probably be a bit down here, since RSI has to close below, right? And I would just put my stop. At that point, we've already probably rated that wick on the left over here. I will probably just put my stop above the SFP wick. So this would be a confirmation play. I'm just going to mark it like this. So it's clear on the screenshot as well. Then we would just target mid-range. And then after that, I would literally just look for longs. Because I think Sui still looks really strong. Where we actually long is really hard to tell. Because we haven't formed the top yet. But in general, I think this 0.5 is going to be our first level of interest. So maybe we bounce somewhere over here. Maybe we retrace as deep as this. I don't think we actually retrace this deep, but this would be the best level. Something like this. Because we have been building there for quite a long time. And it would just be a swing play, right? Because Sui is actually essentially the strongest coin. So the next high is all-time high. Like, there is nothing before that. So that is essentially what I would look at for Sui. Okay, let's see. I want to look at Cetus, right? Okay. Yeah, this is definitely related to Sui. Alright. I think, yeah, I think that might just be the oldest chart. Let's see. You have a hot mic, Genghis Khan. Yeah, let's see. This A2C is a bit too deep for a regular shark, so we'd have to look for a cipher. Yeah, it's not really working for a cipher either. Essentially, because this is so strong, right? What we can do is we can draw this bearish PRZ. And I'm gonna mark out this 786 right over here. Then I'm gonna do the same for and I'm gonna do the same for essentially our B2D leg. And just draw a little box on there. So because we have completely ripped through this PRZ, what we can do is we can look for kind of a retest on this. So we have now drawn our high time frame level, right? So I would just go on a lower time frame and see if we ever come back down into this and we start seeing signs of rejection here. That's when we can start looking to just long on that previously bearish PRZ. So we just take that bearish level that we have over here, that we kind of ignored, right? And if we now flip it to support, that's when we can actually enter on it for a long. but that would be a confirmation play. Like, that is not something you just blindly set limits for. You would actually wait for it to retrace down into this and then show show some signs of strength. Apart from that, this is just another place you're entering. So unless we get specifically that, I would just not enter it and just wait. Any possibilities or okay? I'll look at Excel. So zeros, yeah. Well, I think I've charted this one before. Yeah, this one looks good. I've charted this one before. Shit, curious, where is it? Why do I not have it? I'm pretty sure I charted it. Okay. This coin, if I remember correctly, is very illiquid though. Yeah, that's very illiquid. So I would not recommend this for leverage at all. If you want to get into this, I would only advise spot. Because the liquidity is so bad that you might just get randomly wicked out. So you kind of just don't want to have any leverage on that. Spot only a bit good, okay. Okay, so I'll show you something I've been working on in a way that harmonics have this kind of flaw where once it is actually lefty stationary once you're out of the PRZ, harmonics don't really do that much. So you can kind of play it to the T piece, you can play the type 2, etc. But apart from that, you don't have that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw everything manually, and that's going to give us a bunch of good levels. So do note, chart's going to be pretty chaotic. I'll draw everything individually, and we'll take a look. Add this one. Okay. So fib number 1 from X to A, right? Our first very big leg. Fib number 2 from B to A. This is in reverse, I am aware. But it's because we're measuring something rather than using the actual fib pool. Then fib number 3 is going to be, I'm going to control click, duplicate this. I'm going to put it over C. And that is going to give us our ABCD measurement. So essentially just the pattern in between the harmonic. And then lastly, I'm going to measure A to D. I'm going to enable all of it. And then, well, it's going to disable this one. And then we get a bunch of good levels. So what we want to look for is overlapping areas. Areas with a bunch of them at the same time. So we can already see, for example, this area had a bunch of really good fibs, right? That's where we bounced off of eventually. So that was our initial PRZ. Then we have like two kind of lines over here, but they're pretty far apart. That's our consolidation range. And now we have entered this area with a lot of fibs, essentially. There's a lot of stuff here. So what I would look for is we're going to take this bottom, where we have two overlapping ones, and then the lowest one inside of this range. And this is going to be our support. And then the line right over here. This is our B point essentially, but it's because of the overlapping fibs, right? That's going to be our resistance. And then after that, I'll mark out one more because this coin seems really strong. After that, we kind of have this little box as resistance. Oh, and last one, we have this little box. Those are essentially our resistance areas. I'm going to disable the fibs again for clarity. And now we have a bunch of levels. I'll just mark all of these out so you can see the levels on the right. Okay, just like that. So I think as long as we don't break this level, I think this is just your support level. This box we have over here, I think this is your area to look for. If we lose that, that is when I would start looking at this area. And lastly, but you kind of don't want this, lastly this area. This is going to be your lowest box. So I think this is a good area to add if you want to get in. your invalidation is gonna essentially be just dropping below and retesting this, because that means that you are probably gonna either test this, or you're gonna go all the way down and test this. So I think this is a good area to add in general. It's kind of sad that we didn't have the stream like literally an hour earlier, because we would have actually had the entry. But this is what it would look at. And you would TP this line right over here. That's your first major TP, and that is essentially what you're gonna long into. Since it's a spot position, I would use a soft stop. So you would just cut it if it goes down below, and then retest this. That's when you would sell. So your actual stop loss is not even this level. Your actual stop loss is just going to be a retest of this. Or if we start actually building below here, right? That's also a stop. Because essentially what you've done is we have completely broken out this consolidation range. We had this range over here, and we've completely broken out of it. And if I were to draw a little box right over here, from just the first initial like little order block to the top of the first test, we have also retested this. So essentially, we do not accept below this point anymore. That's what this tells us, right? We broke out, successfully retested, and just launched up. So we shouldn't accept here anymore, which means that our next flip is now just this level. We shouldn't accept here anymore. So we should just be going up. If we don't, then that is a major sign of weakness. So for spot, I don't think this is a bad level to add. If you want to make it a full play, something which you can do is you just enter like 20% here. Then if we go lower, you add like 40% over here, for example. And then your next add is only gonna be if we reclaim this level again. That's your last 40%. And otherwise, if we don't actually do that and keeps going down, you either just top loss it somewhere there, or you just what's it called, or you just stay in like a half-size position over here. That way, no matter what happens, you always have room to add. And if you actually take a loss, it's going to be kind of a small loss. And if you take a win, well, you're only going to be in your full position size if you actually retest this with full confirmation. So that's like a little strategy you can use for spot. But I think in general, this coin looks pretty good. That's like the first liquid coin I've looked at in a very long time that actually looks decent. Yeah, it is. That strategy is what Weatherman uses. I didn't like. That's not my strategy at all. But I think it's a really, really good strategy, so I share it around. So all credit to Weatherman. Because that way, it's like kind of. I just felt it is a liquid coin. Yeah. So if you go on a lower time frame, right? The wicks. I knew that it wasn't a liquid coin, so the wicks on this coin are like pretty wide, but not that extreme, right? But if you go on a lower time frame, you can see this. This is called barcoding, where the candles just look really weird. So if I let me just put them side to side, right? I'm just gonna go on Sol, and I'll go on a 15-minute chart on this one as well. You see the difference between these two? Sol has like decent candles, right? You can spot the Saturdays on it still, because it just goes sideways. But these candles are doing stuff. These candles don't really get traded. So for example, this part, there was no trade. It actually just stayed flat for an hour. And then when it does get traded, a lot of flat candles, a lot of wickless candles, a lot of candles that just are just in the exact same spot. So that's how you spot the liquid coins. So this is not something you would trade. If you really like the project, you can invest in it. But I would always recommend like putting in a lower amount, because these coins aren't getting traded either way. So you have added, like you have extra risk just because no one has their eyes on it. So there's a good chance that it just goes sideways for a long time. No, this is not a coin to trade. If you want to trade coins actively, you just need high volume. That's actually it. You just need high volume on coins. So that's why something like Pepe is like perfect for trading, right? Because if I go on Pepe and you just go on a lower time frame, what's it called? Oh, that actually changed. Wow. If I go to the left a bit, we should just go on a 15-minute. This used to be the case for Pepe. I just do it over here. If you look at Pepe, this coin, even though it's on a low time frame, was moving pretty fast. A lot of people were trading this, and it was just moving, like the entire time. That is perfect for trading because it just moves up and down the entire time, and a lot of people trade it. That is actually perfect. That is also why, what's it called? Why a coin like Sol is actually good to trade, because it just keeps moving. Like, it just keeps doing stuff. People are trading it, so you have people to like kind of trade against, right? So this is really nice to trade, because if you have a little range, you can just sell the top, buy the bottom, sell the top, buy the bottom, etc. If a coin just goes sideways and doesn't do anything, well, you can't really do anything with it. So for trading, you literally just look at volume. And that's also why I think FET is perfect for trading, because FET has quite a bit of volume. So it moves the entire time. Like if you have the support level, for example, you can literally just buy the support, sell at the top. Buy, sell at the top. And then buy, and your third buy, so right over here, you would just cut this a break even the moment you see this retest, right? So because this coin moves, you can trade it pretty easily. Yeah, for sure. That is also why, what's it called? That is also why for a very long time my most traded coin was OFF, because OFF was just moving the entire time. Like it kind of, what's it called? It is kind of changing nowadays because people don't trade it that much anymore, but you can still see it, right? If you literally just take it from a support resistance perspective, you can just put a line there. You can just put a line there. Or let's actually do it in the past, right? We take the first low over here. And we take this order block. We take this wick. And then we also take the top of that wick, top of this wick. And the first kind of high over here. So I've actually just, what I've done is I've taken like the first wick over here. The second one is kind of a liquidity grab, right, of this one. So, you know, this one is the actual like support resistance area. This also gets confirmed by the retest over here. I've taken the top of this order block. So on the 15-minute, this is an engulfing candle, so that's significant. Could also do the same for this one if it was engulfing, but it isn't, right? So the red candle is bigger than the green ones over here. Then I just take the high, take the low, take the high. Could take the low as well and then take the high. Let's take the low as well. There you go. And then you just go to the right, and you literally just buy every single time the moment it gets to that low. And essentially, because this is so far apart, I would exclude this because you would just have such a big you would need to fill quite a significant gap. So let's just long it like this every time. And then do the same thing for the top. I would not actually take the short, right? Because your stop loss is going to be really far away. It's going to be above that next level. So that is not good risk to reward. So I wouldn't actually take this. But this is where it would sell. Essentially, that's just how I would trade the range. And what you can see happening, right, is you're going to win and lose some trades, right? So this trade is going to be a win because you're going to go all the way up. You're going to TP 1, 2, 3. So you're going to make like 1.1 R here. It's called like 1.5 or something. Yeah, 1.6 over there. And then you're going to cash out the remaining over there. So you're going to make 2 more. So you're going to make 4 R over there, right? If you put in $100, you're going to make like like 400 bucks on this trade. You do the same over here. But in this case, risk reward would be pretty bad, so I wouldn't actually take this one, right? They're gonna take -1 out of here. So plus 400, I'm gonna exclude this one, -100. You're gonna be up 300 just from that range. Yeah, I recorded. I record everything. So the moment you have levels like these on a coin with a lot of volume, that's when you can just kind of look to trade the range. And I don't personally trade it like this anymore, right? Because I trade harmonics nowadays, but this is how we used to trade SR. Let's see. Yeah, I don't actually have anything on this chart. Aave is also one of the coins I'm looking at in general. For the reason that not only has Aave broken daily structure, but Aave is one of the only coins that has also broken weekly structure. Because a lot of altcoins are on a bearish weekly market structure, right? Aave isn't. Aave has actually broken that weekly high. So Aave is actually in an uptrend on essentially every time frame. So all we have to look for now is we're going to go on a daily time frame. We're going to look for a retracement somewhere. And then we're going to try to look for longs there. So I already have Aave charted, so I'm not going to do that again. But essentially, this is what I'm going to look for now. If I go on a weekly time frame, you have a very big bat right over there, with a target at 238. That's where I would look for shorts. And because bats have an X to B at 0.5 usually, you can also just take along on the retest of that B point. That's a very nice thing about that. Because what you've essentially done is you say, okay, this is my significant high that sends us down to the significant low, and you just take 0.5 of that. So that is your mid-range, essentially. So what you've done is you've broken above mid-range, and now you're looking to retest it. So if we actually retest that, and in this case, we are forming some smaller bullish harmonics right over there. If we actually retest that, I'm going to look for a bomb. And I'm going to look to take that up like all the way to 237. So that's why. This is a lower time frame long, right? That harmonic isn't valid if we go on a 6 hour or something. So that is essential to what I would look for now. But what I also want to say, and I think I mentioned this at the start, but just to put it in a bit more clearer of words, I guess. I think essentially every alt looks pretty good, no matter what alt you go to. Like if you go to BNB, if you go to STX, if you go to Aave, if you go to TIA, like no matter what you go to, every alt looks like it's about to pop, or it has already popped, right, and it's still going. No matter what kind of coin you're looking at, there are so many alts nowadays that you kind of have to select a few. So because there are like literally thousands of alts, right? You need to just throw a lot of them in the trash and just not look at them, because it is much easier to trade a lower amount of coins that you know will perform well, that you have confirmation that they will perform well. So that is one of the reasons why I actually look at coins just on a naked daily chart, and I go, okay, have we actually broken the high? Have we actually like broken structure? Yes, we have. Okay, this is a coin I can trade. And then I go on SSV. I go, okay, have we actually broken this high? No. Okay, this is a coin I'm just not going to trade, because we haven't even broken the high yet, even though Bitcoin has. So at that point, I might as well trade Bitcoin. And if you want to invest in something, that is different, right? If you really like SSV as a project, and you think, okay, I want to invest on this for the long term, then you can say, okay, it's a pretty good place. I'll start a position right here. That makes sense. But for trading, I'm going to look for only coins that have actually broken that high. Seed is a Dex on Sui. Okay, that makes sense. Did you get the explanation as well? No, okay. Because I'll say it again then, because it was pretty important. Where'd they go? Wait, what? Hey, that was on the right layout, right? I think I want a maxi. Oh, I want a maxi. Okay. What I wanted to say, or what I said about Cetus, is this is not a limit order. You don't want to just put a limit here, for the reason that this coin on the way up didn't really build anything, right? It kind of just went up, and the only places where you've actually built some structure is right over here. So this is essentially along at nothing. There's nothing there. So what you want to do, because we have seen that this is a significant level, right? We have a bearish cipher there, and we have blasted through that. So what you want to look for is on that same area that we clearly didn't accept below, we want to confirm that. So we broke above, and we want to confirm that we still belong above. So when we come back down, you want to look for the reaction on this area. And if we go back down and then instantly get pushed up, then close candles above, that is very important. How far the wicks go, that doesn't matter. We need the wicks to go into the zone and then close candles above. And if you do that, that's when you can take a long. So this is how that's how you take a retest long, right? You're looking for a long on the retest of this and not necessarily just this level. You're not gonna limit order this. Just gonna go on trading view and just gonna set like a little bar there. And then just gonna set an alert. Create. There you go, you have an alert. And then when it goes off, you're just gonna go on the chart and you're just gonna watch for the reaction. You're gonna watch for like a 4-hour close or something like that. Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's see. So say is apparently just going higher, so I want to see where this is gonna reject. Yeah, I'll go on a different layout for this one. So I have a full sage already. Oh, I already have it charted. Nice. That is very laggy. One thing, because I've been using circles a lot more now, it is so annoying how much they lag. Like, circles take so much time to render. If I can show, I think it was sushi. I tried a sushi the other day. I lose everything. Yeah, I tried a sushi the other day, and charts like these become so unbelievably laggy. Because, like, TradingView has a really hard time looking at the circles. Okay, let's see. We're looking at say. Pyre. Is that coin still alive? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna look for this area first. That is not valid. Oh yeah, I remember actually. This was only a Binance spot thing. That wick on the left over here is only there on Binance spot. It's what's it called? It's not an actual wick. Yeah, so I had this area as a first rejection area, but we don't seem to be rejecting. The reason why I say it's not going to reject is because we enter this area and we instantly close a candle like way above. As I through the roof, I mean, it looks kind of normal. Depends on the time frame. You're gonna go on a low time frame, it's gonna be really high. But this is still lower than before, right? This is still a divergence. This is still lower. So RSI at this moment is indicating weakness. Yeah, I mean, it's really volatile, right? But this indicates weakness. This doesn't indicate strength. So what this is telling you is that you should not be longing right over here. Which, well, I don't think anyone wants to long here, right? But you shouldn't, because oscillators are indicating a lot of weakness. So I might... Yeah, I think... I don't think this push is gonna last. I think it's gonna get through this level. But this 886 is probably gonna hold. Because that 886 is also 0.382 from top to bottom. And if I enable the fans one by one, well, that is actually nothing. Oh yeah, there it is. This also aligns with the circles. So I think, I'm not sure if this is gonna hold. I wanted to get into that long, didn't get it. I would look for a hedge here. I'm probably gonna actually take this because I have a lot of say in spot. So I will probably take this hedge. I would not actually short say to be net short. If I wasn't in spot, I would never take this. Yeah, I record my streams. I'll upload the video later and put it in my channel. So yeah, in general, I think Say is gonna reject at this point, but I would not actually have an interest in shorting it. I would have an interest in longing the pullback to just add more. And to be honest, that could very well be at this exact same level. It could very well be that we literally just long this area. Because this is one of the only areas where we've been building for a little bit. And we've been using this as support a few times. So if we get back into that, I will probably look for that. And just take it up to mid-range at least. I'll just actually put it in here. So people that see it don't actually think I'm gonna short. So that's it for say. Rose is another. Rose is actually flipping this, and I didn't see it because it was kind of AFK for the weekend. That is very sad. I was looking at Rose a lot. Yeah, I have it on this layout. Rose looks really, really good. Oh yeah, if we what's it called? If we flip this level to support, I'm gonna get into a long for sure. It's gonna take the long like that. Because Rose on a higher time frame, this coin looks so good. This coin, if you go on a weekly, right? We have broken weekly structure, so we are in an uptrend on the weekly. If you consider this a low, we're not, but I don't. And even if you do, we have broken the daily structure, right? What I was talking about. So because we have broken daily structure, this is a coin I want to trade. Because I want to look for longs on strong coins, and this coin has confirmed to be strong. So I want to look for a long on this. And I'm going to essentially just target either the wicks over here or that wick right over there. Probably this one, actually. So I'm going to look for that as well. Okay, let's see. Do you guys have any other coins you want me to look at? Otherwise, the main coins I still want to show are Maker and Pipe. Yeah, Tao's on my list. Absolutely. Tao's at a bit of an awkward spot at the moment though, because we're at an end star, so I'm not sure if it's actually gonna climb above. Wait. I'll drink a bit and I'll show you why. Okay. I've been giving a lot more classes lately, and my voice doesn't agree, so I have to drink a lot more. It is what it is. Okay, I think that's everything I have on this chart, right? Yeah. Okay, if I take this chart, what I usually do on charts like these is I look at a few things. One, do we have any bullish harmonics? Go on a slightly lower time frame. I'll start over here. Take this as a first wick, and let's see. That is a 0.5, so that would go to the 886. It didn't actually touch that. Just we haven't touched that. I don't think we ever are gonna touch that. I mean, this one is just kind of there for show. I'm just gonna remove this because We're never going to touch this on Tau. If Tau actually goes to 120, that would really, really surprise me. So I'm going to start on this wick instead. Let's see, do we have a shark? For sharks, I mainly look at X to D and B to D. Yeah, so X to D is between 886 and 113, and B to D is a significant fib between 1618 and 224. So there's essentially a 2.0. And we can even take it like this, where you say, okay, that was our actual bounce point. So that was actually a 1 and our 1.786 if you want to. Depends on how you take it. Essentially, yes, this is valid. So we know what we bounced off of. I'm going to remove this for clarity. And I'm just going to take the fib. Just the TP fib. So where do I want to take TPs? I'll change the color to cyan. There we go. That's where I want to take TPs. And what we can see is that we are fighting the 0.618. We are managing to close above, so I don't think this holds. But it is still a significant level that we're struggling with. This is like the first level that we're actually having some trouble with. So now that we have identified a proper level, I'm going to look for some bearish harmonics instead. Where are the bearish harmonics? Well, we'll find out. So this X2B is not valid with anything. This is supposed to be a 0.382 minimum, so I don't count this as valid. So we cannot use this wick. So I'm just going to go on this wick instead. That's the first significant high after that. And if we take this, we can see that we had a shark maximum over here. We are flipping this shark to support. So this shark is now support. So actually Carney's harmonics stop here. This is the farthest you can take this shark. But if you have a shark, what you can do is to the 1.272. So right over there. To the 1.314. Right over there. This is called a Nanstar. This is an informal harmonic pattern. It is essentially an extension of the shark. That's how I remember it. I don't think we're going to get through this just yet. Because you can see we have like a bunch of wicks into this. And even though we've tried so many times, we keep closing candles below. So I think this, so far, is just holding. Now, if we actually start closing candles inside of this level, that's when I would change my mind, right? If we start closing daily candles over here, then I will probably see the 786 pretty soon. So I would look for a long if we do something like that. And you would just long the retest on that. Another retest long, right? That is not a limit you set. You would look for a reaction. Or on daily closes, I think shorts are preferred on this one. Shorts on AI coins at the moment are very risky, but I think on this coin, purely technical, from a technical standpoint, shorts are favored on this one. I would take it up probably to the B point only. I don't think you get more than that. Let's see, if I take a fan from this is actually going to give me confirmation. Yeah, it is. And there we have it as well. From that fan to top to bottom, that 0.786 aligns with our PRZ. So I don't think we get through this just yet. If we reject, the main level I will be looking at is the 5.0, which always comes after sharks, sometimes after Nanstars, which is right over there at that 0.5. I can't give an exact stop loss yet, but we can maybe just use the unicorn right over there. So we're going to take it at least up there. That's what I would look at for Tau. I know for Tau I use a bit of... I use quite a bit of things that that you normally don't see on harmonic charts. For example, no one trades Nanstars, but I really liked them lately. Where Alno's at. I'm gonna give you 2 takes for Alno. Yeah, no problem. That you like it. I'm gonna give you 2 takes for Alno. One limit would have already hit. I charted this yesterday in a different class. No, 2 days ago actually. I charted this 2 days ago in a different class. These would be my new limits for Alno for spot if you still want to get in. My old limits were, let's see. These were my old limits. In general, I think Ondo is in an absolutely fantastic spot. If we flip this to support, which we are currently doing, right? If the daily closes like this, I would consider it flipped. I think we could see a lot higher. Because realistically speaking, if we just take this price leg, right? This is your 0.786. So your ABC is 0.786. Then I'll literally just pull up the cheat sheet for this. Because I know literally no one trades ABCDs for some reason, even though they're really, really good. The ABCDs. Hey, where are they actually? Yeah, put it right there. If you have an ABCD, if your ABC is a 0.786, your corresponding B to C leg is going to be a 1272. So that is going to be up here. So this is your technical target. That's it at 786. So I think Alno is in a fantastic spot. I think it's going to go a lot higher. Because that's actually more than a 2x from here. And that is the simplest pattern you can draw. So I think this is your major target. One thing I will say though, Alno has a very big unlock coming up. I think it's like 130% of the circulating supply. So that makes it a bit more risky. Usually I don't look at unlocks at all because it gets priced in either way. But 130% is a lot. Like that is a lot. Because that effectively more than doubles the market cap just overnight, the moment they get unlocked. So that's probably going to have an impact on the price. But essentially for Ondo, if you don't mind that at all, which I don't mind it too much because, well, I'm looking at Ondo for long term anyway. These will be my levels. The levels in purple. These are just spot bids, right? I would try and take them up all the way up here. Might have to be earlier depending on the unlocks. Don't know that yet. Now that we're looking at these ABCDs, I want to bring up another chart. Injective. I know a lot of people hate this coin. I don't know why. Injective is in a very unique spot. Where Injective doesn't have any unlocks anymore. As far as I know. Or no significant ones at least. So this coin is non-inflationary. Meaning that the market cap isn't randomly going to increase. So for example, if you look at Solana, Solana on a weekly time frame is peaked at the 786 from all-time high to the bear market, right? Then if you look at Sol market cap, we have actually broken all-time high by a significant amount. We've broken all-time high by 15%. Oh, really? Did I get that wrong? Let me actually pull it up. Coin unlocks. Token unlocks. I was talking about this event. So that is, what date is that? January 18th. I mean, it's still a while away. It's still several months away. But people might look surprised at him first. Anyway, I was talking about market cap, right? Solana has broken all-time high by 15% already. And Solana is currently actually trading essentially at all-time high. We're slightly below it. But the USDT pair is quite far below it. We're not even close to all-time high. All-time high is still 64% away. That is because there are simply more Solana tokens in supply, right? In rotation. So there are more Solana tokens to go around. So we need to buy a lot more to push the price up back to that same amount. Injective is in a unique spot where that is currently not happening anymore. So this coin is going to be pretty easy to push up in the next leg of the run. So I think if you're looking for a new coin, I think just bidding Injective on pullbacks is pretty good. Because this coin on a macro level looks really, really good. And it is non-inflationary. So it is pretty easy to push up. It's a lot easier than a coin, what's it called? Than a coin like Solana, because the market cap isn't suddenly going to increase. And obviously we have also broken daily structure, right? That's show high and we broke it. Currently retesting it as support. So it also fits that criteria. So Injective is 100% on that list. Let's see. I wanted to go over two more coins, right? Oh yeah, I wanted to go over Pyth and I wanted to go over Maker. Maker being the first one. We are in a spot position on this already. From 1478. We are on a weekly just retesting these PRZs, right? We're just testing these levels, testing this as support. Pretty good sign. If we go to daily, we have broken out of this consolidation range. This is not a significant high, but this is like a little range. We have broken out of that, are currently retesting it as support. I think we can easily see this a lot higher. For those reasons, right? We are at a very macro level of support. Like I can go on a monthly, and when you just look at a monthly candle, you can see this is where we've been building, like actually this level. And we are currently retesting it, and the monthly is looking pretty good. If this closes slightly higher, I would even consider it like a proper hammer candle. So on a high time frame, I think this coin is in a perfect spot. So I'm gonna look for a Maker as well. A Maker also has the added advantage of actually having a Grayscale trust fund. So the same thing that, for example, Sui has. Maker has that as well. It just doesn't look like it, but it has it. So if this coin starts running, it's going to be pretty easy to lift off. Which is exactly what happened to Sui. Other coins can have that as well. Apex has it. Ballcoin has it. Tau has it. Let's see. Nair has it. So those coins are running pretty hard. So I think Maker can easily follow that. Now this is honestly just a major area of interest. If the daily closes like slightly higher, we can even just look at longs just like that. This is just a significant level that we're flipping to support, right? Take it wick to close, and ta-da. Yeah, I'll do it like that actually. If we close the daily, or maybe you can just, yeah, if we close the daily above this, I think it looks pretty good. Because you can see the candles, right? We're trying to push through, but we're just getting balled up every single time. We're not entirely closing above it, so I would wait for a daily close, but you can, on a lower time frame, you can already see the rejection happening. So yeah, I think if we close the daily above this, I might just consider a long. Might just long it like that. I'm not going to be there for the daily close, by the way, so I cannot alert this. Because that is 2 a.m. in my time zone. But if it's still in that area the next morning, I will probably call it. Because this, if it closes above, this is really, really good. So for Maker, I'm looking for a daily close above that. Daily close above 1.666. Okay, and then the last one I had was Pive. For the reason that Pive is actually breaking this high as well. Which is really good considering that this is a new token. This token runs really, really hard. It doesn't actually give any pullbacks. Like, this coin doesn't pull back, it just climbs up. And we are at a very significant level. So this Gardly and this Deep Gardly, we have just been consolidating within this box for a while. So I'm just gonna look to bid this on any pullback. Good chance that it's actually just gonna be over towards this level. We just bid that. I'm gonna look for this. If we see this, I'm gonna alert this for sure. Because I think this coin looks fantastic. Sui is just breaking out as well. We're almost already at the bat. That does not look good. I think that's gonna go lower for now. My eye actually looks to be running out of steam a bit. Wait, what does the video look like then? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Now we know why. Oh yeah, fire. I almost forgot. I already charted this apparently. Okay, I'm gonna give you a very, very annoying answer. I'm sorry for it, but I'm gonna be honest, okay? Let's see. I'm literally just gonna take all-time low. It's this one. I'm gonna draw a line. If coins are like these, do not have demand, right? Bitcoin, since its lows, has rallied like 4 to 5x. It is like way up, right? So since this moment, BTC has gone up 4x. A bit more, but let's say 4x. So plus 300%. Where's that? That is right over there. If you compare the two charts, this is what Bitcoin is currently trading. Then we look at Pyre, and we didn't even manage to keep the bear market low. We traded below the bear market low on the weekly. So this coin clearly doesn't have demand. Why am I saying this? Because we closed several candles below that line. That we close candles below and don't immediately reject, this shows you that this coin doesn't have enough demand to actually run. If you want to look at coins at bear market lows, what you want to see is something like this. Where we go on SEC, had the most extreme example. This red line is the previous all-time low, right? That is the same line we just drew on Pyre, right over there. What we did is we went down there, we wicked down there on the weekly, and we closed way above. This is a perfect, like, complete textbook example of an SFP. If this happens, you want to bid, like 100% of the time. That is the easiest trade you can get. Because you just SFP'd a very significant level. You wicked in, closed way above. So what you can do is actually just long the candle close. Just wait for it to close. And you just press long. Your stop loss is just going to be below the wick. And that is it. Because you have now proven that you went into that old area. You went there. You completely didn't accept. Buyers like completely showed up and they showed you, hey, you like the price doesn't belong here anymore. Like, look at how far it got bought up instantly. Like on that first candle. So price clearly doesn't belong in this area anymore. So you can take that. You can like take that sentence, right? Price does not belong in that area. And you literally take that trade. You don't belong there, so you buy it. And if we do go into that area again, that's where you cut. That's where your stop loss is. And because your risk is so low, because you have like such a clear area, like, hey, that is your stop loss limit. Like, that is a very clear level. Your risk to reward is just insanely high. Because your actual final target is going to be the first, like, top of that wick. Because you've just proven the bottom, and you've proven that the bottom is still valid. So now your eventual target is going to be the top. That is like one of the easiest trades you can take. SFPs are really easy to trade. Yeah, ICP is a good one. Here, I already have it charted. I think ICP is going to reject here. Realistically, on a high time frame, we're trading in a cipher. So on a high time frame, I would say up. On a low time frame, I would say down, probably. I think it retraces. So I'll give you two ICP charts. Yeah, for sure, Aldino. So also that's why I shared Luna in chat the other day, and I wasn't actively trading, so I didn't want to share it in this Discord. But that's why literally I was looking at Luna for that exact reason. Because if you go on this chart, you just take the low, right? The all-time low. Let's put on log for this. You take the all-time low. What on earth is that? This guy literally went to zero. That is a minus 100%. That is kind of funny. I didn't know it actually went to like 0, 0. It actually went to minus 100%. That is so funny. Okay, so excluding this, because that is probably a glitch. This is your all-time low. And I just went on this chart, and you can just go on the day and you see, hey, we went into that, completely rejected, closed way above. If I saw this earlier, I don't look at Luna that often, right? Because why would I? If I saw this earlier, this would have been the trade. And you literally just target, delete this for a second. You would literally just target this high as a first target. That is essentially your target. Because that is your close, right? You close above after SFPing such an important level. Take it on the close, stop loss below the wick, you target the next wick. That is essentially just how you trade SFPs. You can do that on any coin because that is just proof of acceptance. That is a very easy trade to take. There was another one. Sushi did the same. I'm just gonna go over. This is the last one I'm gonna do this for, by the way. But I want to show several examples so you guys can trade it yourselves as well. Let's take the all-time low. It's right there. That is your lowest point. You wick it, you close above, and you just rally. You wait for the close on that. Stop loss below the wick, just like that. What do you target? You target the first significant wick. That's right over there. You can even, in case like this, you can even target this if you want to, because there are triple equal highs over there. So that's like a liquidity draw. But in general, that's actually just your trade. And now if you start closing like just slightly above, it makes it a bit more risky, but it is still a good trade. As long as you like actually close above, still a good trade. I think we looked at most coins. Did I skip any most coin? Is there any coin that I missed? I think I got everything. Or any new coin, I could do like one or two more. CRV, yeah. Oh yeah, but because I kind of actually didn't say it at the end. So for Pyre, I'm gonna give a very like boring answer. I'm gonna place this exact low. There's no older data for this, right? No, okay. This is okay because we closed weeklies below this level, right? Started closing weeklies below this. Gonna be very boring and just say this to your next level. What you want to look for as an area of interest, because this coin has proven that it has no demand, so I would just stay away from this. If you really want it, you can set an alert for this. And if we do that exact thing that I just described, that's where you can look. But I would, in general, I would just not look at Pyre. I don't think this looks good at all. This has actually just made a new low. So realistically, the best thing you can get is a lower high, and then another lower low. CRV. I have a lot on here. Kind of do. I actually know what this is, so I can remove it. So a lot. Siri, I'm going to do the same thing. Because this coin clearly doesn't have any demand either, right? Trading below it. This coin clearly doesn't have enough demand. So will I look at it? Probably not. What you can do is you can look for example, scalp shorts or something. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't like this coin. This is also, that's why I look at it on the daily, right? This is what you don't want to see. Candles like these that just go fully within it and close below. That proves that you do accept in this area. So that's like the opposite of what I've just shown. This shows you that you're probably going to keep trading below it for a bit. So until we decisively go above and then reclaim this, I would not look at this coin at all. If you want to get into DeFi, okay, or if you really like this project, you can just buy a little bit. If you really want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Your target would essentially be just the highest wick, right? I can even just draw a trend line. I don't actually use trend lines, right? But this is one of the patterns I do actually like, because this pattern like proves you something. What this pattern tells you, that's how I trade patterns, by the way. I do not actually trade chart patterns, but the patterns that mean something, I use those. So what this tells you is price is compressing. Price action is just getting tighter and tighter. And we are taking all of the longest stops out every single time, right? But the shorters are still intact. Everyone that has shorted and has their stop loss or break even or still at the actual stop loss, still intact. If this ever actually decides to break out, well, if this ever actually decides to break out, just like that, we are probably targeting these. So that's what I would look for. I would look for a reclaim of this, break out of that wedge, and then you can look for a long. That is annoying. And then you would literally just place your stop loss somewhere below a support that's formed there. Probably over there. And then you would literally just TP the wicks. If you confirm the reclaim, that is pretty good. Because at that point, you're probably just going to go up. Like, it's going to be a pure scam. You're probably literally just going to hunt for the liquidity and just take the stops out. And that's why I would pull to P as well. There's no point in holding past that point. So if you really like this project, then I would look for something like this. If you, when I look back to charts, by the way, after the stream is done, what you do is you just press Ctrl F, which you just go to the search bar in Discord, and you just type the ticker. Or you do from Crasity and then type the ticker. And you'll get linked to the chat. So that's why I'm typing the tickers with them as well, so it's easy to find. Yeah, C-Pool's finally breaking out. I think there's a harmonic on here somewhere. I think it's supposed to be this. Hold on a load time for him to confirm. No, it's actually not. Let's see. Don't we probably have to take it from that point? No, okay, that's just not valid. Can we go lower? No. We can take it from that point. Actually, that's a significant low. Yeah, we just take the 86 of that. And then these are going to be your targets, essentially. We're just flipping that 2-1-4 to support now. I'll enable the 2-3-6 as well. Let's see. Yeah, if we close the daily like this, I would literally just long. Just do what it just described, right? And if you just take it on C pool instead, I would put it a bit lower. These are your main targets. So if we close above this point, I would consider a long like this. In general, C pool chart looks good. This is going to do the same thing I just described on CRV. We are probably going to take out these highs. Because it had the same compression pattern as well, right? Compressing, 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 and it just takes out all of the lows. Like all of this is completely taken out. All of the highs are still intact. So we're probably going to take that out. I'll look for that on C pool. My text, I don't have it favorited. Daily has to close above that 236. I'm going to put it right there just for clarity. That is not going to be your actual entry. Okay, yeah, 1 inch is the last one. Bit weird that you're asking me to look at your 1 inch, but it is what it is. I would have really liked to see us take out that wick. That is sad. Okay. That is actually a shame. It would have been perfect if we took that out. Let's see. There's not really anything there. Uh, Yeah, take higher targets, but this is not actually going to be on a 0.5. So I would never actually take this. Yeah, that's not going to be a 0.5 either. I can give you targets, but I am not someone that longs or shorts C points. What we can do is say, hey, we are flipping this V point. We can long that. So this is what you're flipping essentially. You can take a long based on that, but essentially all we're doing is whipping out targets. Because I heavily dislike longing or shorting C points, so I don't do that. The flip of this V point can be significant though. So essentially, and I don't think we're going to get a close that allows for this, but essentially this is going to be your long. If it closes all the way up here, I wouldn't even bother. Nah, maybe it's still 5R. It's still a pretty good trade. I wouldn't take this if you are in a long or in a position already. I would take that final TP there, like 0.41 as a TP point, because that is where I would consider a short. I don't trade these coins myself, right? Because I don't like trading liquid coins. I have my spot and my leverage like really split up. So on my spot, I just only trade very long term, and on leverage, I only trade very short term. So something like this, I have an interest in it if it sweeps the lows right over there. It kind of didn't. I wouldn't trade this. This is a trade I would take if I had to, let's say. Short term, either intraday or intra-week. That is what I consider short term. Anything below intraday is essentially just a scalp, right? So I scalp. Let's see that. Yeah, I have everything enabled. I scalp on coin. With a bunch of say the other day. So I scalp 6-minute time frames, 6 to 3 minutes. That's what I scalp. The trades I share in my channel are usually 4-hour, 6-hour, or 1-hour trades. So I shared this Luna trade in another Discord, for example. This is essentially just a 4 to a 6-hour. So this trade is always gonna hit TP1 or be a miss, like usually within 2 to 3 days, right? That is what I consider short term. And for spot, I usually just trade weekly and above. So that is also because I don't have any soul in spot anymore, right? Except for like a bit on chain. I still do sometimes do some stuff on chain, so I have some for that, but I don't hold it in my port anymore. Because on a very long term, like on a weekly, realistically, I don't think it goes above 328, which is pretty good, right? Sold to 328 is still more than 2x. But since my spot is only for such high time frames, that's why I just don't bother. Because I can find different coins that do more. I can find Sei and go on a weekly, and we can say, okay, Sei is probably going to go to $1 at least. Like it's probably going to take an all-time high at least. I think it goes a lot higher. I think it's going to go to $3 or something. But the realistic target when we bought all the way down here was already, let's see, that is already more than a 4x. So my spot, I trade very high time frames. And then I trade leverage for everything else, essentially. Talking about spot, how is ENS doing? Wrong layout. How is ENS doing? ENS is doing very well. We frontrunner for our next CP. That's why I didn't know. Okay, that is very sad. It is what it is. So for ENS, for example, I actually just look at the weekly. Like I can go on a clean chart. Just clear this chart and just go on a weekly. And literally all of my initial analysis for ENS to start looking at this coin was this. I just showed on a line chart to remove the wicks. This is where we enter the range, our first high, first low, high, low. This is a downtrend, right? Then we broke the downtrend here by closing above. Closed above, higher low, we confirmed it, broke it again. It's your new high. So logically speaking, because we have higher high, higher low, higher high, we can expect another higher low. So that is like as simple as my initial analysis for a coin gets. Like when I see a coin like this, I now have an interest in it on spot. This is a pretty good project, decent market cap. And the weekly is in an uptrend. I have an interest in it. Because there are so many altcoins in downtrends right now. Especially on the weekly. There are a lot of coins in a downtrend on the weekly. That something like this is instantly interesting. Because it is in an uptrend on the weekly. That is already special on its own. And then I zoom in, right? Then I zoom in and I look at lower time frames. Can I find something on the daily that shows me, hey, that higher low that we're expecting? Can that happen over here? Considering that we have a Gardley right at that higher low, and we completely wick through that Gardley close above, yeah, I think it's gonna go higher. That is it. As for my ENS analysis, this was the initial analysis. Everything else is just to get a good entry, a good stop loss, etc. But this for spot is enough for me to just say, okay, I'm gonna buy this. The weekly is in an uptrend. We are in an area where we can expect a higher low. Okay, I want this coin. That's it. And that doesn't go for every coin, right? If I go on a random low cap meme coin, it's gonna be different. If I go on a gaming token, for example, if I go on big time, well, it's gonna be different. I need a lot more than that. I don't even have like gaming tokens in my long-term port because tokenomics are usually very bad. But in general, that is like the main thing I look at for coins. The initial analysis is just that, because it doesn't need to be hard to be proper analysis. Lower time frame trading is way different. Lower time frames are way harder to trade. But for a high time frame, it's actually just that. Weekly in an uptrend, where can we expect a higher low? Well, clearly around this area. Because we have shown that we don't accept below that point, so I'm just going to buy it. That's how we ended up with this. You can see it here as well, right? That's your weekly structure. That is your guard lead that just tells us, hey, we're going to form a higher low here. Like right over there. And then I zoom in even more. And then see, hey, we have formed like one more harmonic right over there. So we are now completely time frame aligned. That's something a lot of people forget, right? Time frame alignment is like one of the best things to do. Start on the weekly, confirm which bias you have. We have an uptrend bias. And go on the daily. Okay, area of interest, right? This tells us up as well. Then I go even lower on the 6 hour. Hey, this tells us up as well. And then you just play this one. Because you are now aligned to all of the higher time frames. So if you want to, you can take it way higher than you should. Because the final technical target for this harmonic is this 618 right over here. Essentially CMP. That's our final target for this harmonic. But because we know the higher time frames are also like uptrending really hard, well, on a higher time frame, we can expect a higher high next. This is a higher low, right? So we can expect another higher high. We can take it up way higher because our time frames are aligned. That's also one of the reasons why I'm excluding so many coins. That's why I'm just looking at SSV and I'm like, well, the daily isn't uptrending yet, so I'm not going to look at this. Okay, I think that is essentially everything I wanted to talk about. We went over a bunch of coins. A lot of them looked pretty good as well. I think altcoins look really good in general at the moment. So I think that's going to be it for me today. I'll upload the recording to the stream later. And I'll just put it in my channel, just tag my role, etc. If you have any questions, you can always let me know. You can always send me a DM or whatever. And I'll end the recording there.